And we're back. This is Hook and Ladder. We're week 8. Is this where we're at?
I think it's 8, yeah.
Week 8, yeah.
7
week
or
8. Yeah, week 8.
It's going by too quick.
Real quick. But the games keep getting better and better each weekend.
The season is now officially half over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. It always makes me sad because I want to go on forever. But, we got playoffs, lots of bowls. So there's a lot of football left. But this is a great weekend. Really good weekend.
And the games are getting better and better each week. Mm-hmm. Let's get started with Friday night. Louisville knocked off number 2 Miami 24-21. Louisville's a good football team.
They're a good football team. They played well. They played their best game of the year, especially on defense. Offensively, I thought they made a lot of plays. But they were helped out by Miami's offense. Carson Beck, 2024, showed up to play for Miami. And by that, I mean anytime you get any kind of pressure at all on him, he just throws it up for grabs. He threw 4 picks. Could have thrown 2 more. Mm-hmm. But they were still in this. I thought they had the chance to win the game.
They did.
They ended up, throwing that last pick and costing them. And then this was, I said this before 2 years ago. Carson Beck will be a first-round draft pick, and he might be the first QB taken in the draft. Mm-hmm. I still stand by that statement, but there are teams that are going to look at the non-football stuff. Like last year at Georgia, there was some stuff going on. He was living in an apartment with friends. They weren't teammates. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really around the team. He was doing other things. He was driving a Lamborghini, dating one of the Cavender twins. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he belongs more in Miami than Athens, Georgia. Mm-hmm. He wasn't around the program. And when you kind of look deep into things, that's kind of a problem. You want your QB to be the leader of the team. And he just wasn't that for Georgia. No surprise when he goes down the SEC championship game. Gunnar Stockton comes in. The players went bananas. After the game, you heard first-round draft pick Jalen Walker for the Atlanta Falcons saying, that's my guy. Mm-hmm. The whole team loves Gunnar Stockton. They didn't love Carson Beck. And this dude in the press conference throws his wide receivers under the bus for running what he said was the wrong route or the route incorrectly. Yeah. And maybe that's true. But you don't say that.
That's right.
That's taking nothing away from Carson's talent. He's a real big film guy, but he's just not like a team guy. And maybe he is in Miami, but he wasn't that in Georgia, and he really never was.
Yeah. His game may translate better in the pros.
Exactly, yeah. He doesn't have to be the guy that hangs out with the players off the field. He can be the locker room guy and just be that guy. Yeah. And I don't think he's been that in college. Yeah. Great player. I still think he's probably going to be the first quarterback taken. I just think he's much more talented than Mendoza. Mm-hmm. But there's something about that to look into, I guess, if you're a Miami fan. And Georgia fans know that, and I know that they were pissed early in the season when he's throwing touchdown pass after touchdown pass, and he wasn't the problem at Georgia last year. Well, most intelligent people will tell you, no, he wasn't the problem at Georgia. He was one of the problems with the way he played. He basically played almost the season like he did Friday night against Louisville, and Georgia kind of
in critical games where you just get behind just by making bad mistakes, and it kind of just snowballs.
Yep, 3 or 4 turnovers in the Alabama game. They lost last year, and they came back, but those turnovers were in the first half, and which led to a whole bunch of points. And they don't give up those points. They win the game. Almost lost the Florida game because he threw 3 interceptions that game. So yeah, he's got those games in him where he's just gonna completely fold.
Yeah. Oh, moving right along.
Also watched that Nebraska-Minnesota game. That was a good game.
Minnesota knocked off Nebraska 24-6.
Dominant fashion. PJ Fleck, big fan of PJ for a while. I don't think his career trajectory went as according to
he went to Minnesota.
He did. I thought that might be another stepping block for him, but he hasn't really achieved the sustained success there. But dominating performance by the Golden Gophers. They could not. They were basically living in the backfield. Yeah. Nebraska's offensive line could not stop blocking.
Do you think that had a lot to do with all the Matt Rule stuff going on right now? Rumors about him leaving?
Yeah. And that's unfortunate because, most likely, not every team's going to hit a home run like Indiana, and Cignetti's going to come in and change the program overnight. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, these rebuilds take time. Nebraska's on their way. They lost, but they were a ranked team. Yeah. They've got some good players. They're very active in the portal, poaching good players from rivals in the Big Ten, and getting a lot of SEC guys to leave the SEC and come to Lincoln. But he leaves, and they're back to square one.
Well, moving right along, Ohio State knocked off Wisconsin 34-0. You see any of this game?
I watched a little bit of this game. Ohio State did what we kind of want them to do. Wisconsin's bad. Good buddy of ours, Chris Connolly, in the group, he was like, lamenting about the days when that was a good game, a really big game. Wisconsin's beat them a few times over the years, especially at Camp Randall. But they're just bad. Yeah. And it looks like Fickle could be gone after this year. I don't know. There was some rumblings yesterday about that. They're just bad. Yeah. And, looking at Ohio State, I was watching this game a little bit and watching, Carnell Tate just go off. And they got so many weapons at wide out and tight end. And I'm like, okay, they played Texas. That was obviously the best team they played talent-wise. They won 14-7. Yeah. Now, Texas offense went that game as it's pretty much gone the entire season. We'll talk about them in a minute. They're nail-biter versus Kentucky. But we know Texas offense isn't good. But Texas has a good defense. Ohio State beat them 14-7. It was a close game. Closest game they've played. They've got Penn State this week, who just dropped their, fourth game out of the last 5. They've got Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan. Now, granted, Michigan's not that good this year, but they weren't good last year either. They were able to beat them. I don't see a losable game on this schedule. In fact, other than the Texas game, there's not a losable game on the schedule, nor is there a game I look at and think this could be kind of competitive.
You don't think Michigan's going to surprise the people and actually show up?
I mean, they might if they use Underwood the right way, maybe. But I haven't seen anything out of Michigan this year that suggests they can hang with Ohio State. Yeah. But again, we said the same thing. 2, maybe 3 out of the last 4 years that Michigan's beat them. But I'm kind of looking at the schedule, and I'm not trying to dog on Ohio State here because Ohio State is an elite team. It's not their fault they play in the Big Ten. And I'm looking at the schedule thinking this is horseshit. Nothing against Ohio State. I don't want anybody who's a Ohio State fan watch this get all mad.
They haven't played anybody else.
They haven't played anybody other than Texas. They beat Texas. They beat the best team they played on the schedule. And I kind of thought the same thing last year. They did play Oregon, and they played Penn State, who was better than they are this year. And they played 3 or 4 teams last year that I thought could give them a test. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, what are we going to learn from Ohio State when they got to go to the playoffs? All right, and they got to play 3 good teams in a row. And they did it. Yeah. So I'm not saying they're not going to do it this year, but I'm kind of looking at the Big Ten. And all these people online all season long have been talking about the Big Ten won two national championships in a row. I'm like, their conference is horseshit.
Yeah. Well, they played the worst teams in their conference.
Yes, exactly. They didn't have to play Indiana. They didn't have to play Oregon. They'll play Indiana most likely in the conference championship game. Yeah. But I'm looking at some of these other conferences, and even,
the SEC, I mean, everybody's got to run the gauntlet.
For like 3 weeks, the guy that I listen to a lot has been calling an NFL schedule, meaning every single week you can lose. Yeah. Big 12, same thing. I mean, Texas Tech lost this week. We'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah. They've been kind of running through things. But there's some teams that can compete with them. Yes. But Utah was hanging with them. The ACC, that's a mess, but everyone's kind of beating each other up. So I don't see the Big Ten doing that. We'll talk about USC here in a little bit. But, I mean, I don't see anybody other than Ohio State. I mean, Oregon's not the team this year. Indiana is, but I want to see Indiana play somebody that can match them physical. I mean, the physicality they showed against Oregon, I was very surprised. No. I want to see them match up with Ohio State. I have a feeling Ohio State beats them by 20.
We'll see. Moving right along, Indiana, we just spoke of, knocked off Michigan State 38-13. Indiana got off a slow start. But
they screwed around a little bit, I think. Then they kind of really, we're in a football game, and this game counts, tomorrow. And they got it going, kind of like you expected them to. I have a lot more respect for the team. Still hate Cignetti. Have a lot more respect for the team than I did earlier in the season. Mendoza looks really good. That dude's just chugging along. It looks like we might have a new kind of Heisman race. I think Carson Beck's gone after the 4 interception performance. We've got a couple of guys in there now, and I think Mendoza's probably first and foremost right now on the list.
Yeah, leader going in the clubhouse. Moving right along, Texas A&M knocked off Arkansas in a gunfight, 45-42.
This has been the way Arkansas has gone all season. Check out the box scores on their games. They've been putting up points. We've talked about it before. Everybody knows they should have had 2 wins early in the season. Dudes fumbled going in for the game-winning score. One of them inside the 5, and all he needed was a freaking field goal to win. Sam Pittman probably still be coaching the team right now. I mean, they're playing good. The only team they got run out of the building on was not A&M, Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. They played A&M tough. I mean, when I say tough, I mean like give up 45 points, but just go 42 on A&M, who went into South Bend and won. So I mean, you're putting up points. Marcel Reed's really good.
You got Bobby Petrino back at the helm.
Yep. And who's his offensive guy? Are they going to stick with him? I don't know. That dude comes with a lot of baggage, but that baggage was filled. Paid Bill. So, I mean, I think they should just lean into it.
I think, absolutely. Seems like when he's in town, they win games.
They're competitive. They win. That's basically in the last couple of decades. When he was there was the only time they were really competitive.
I mean, they had Ohio State on the road.
Yep, should have won.
Should have won the game. But we're going to move right along. We got Georgia knocked off Ole Miss 43-35 in one of the better games I've seen in a while.
Yeah, top 10 matchup. Number 5, Ole Miss comes into Athens, play number 9, Georgia. I had to go to a wedding, so I missed a good chunk of this game. I was able to watch a little bit on my phone on the drive there. Mm-hmm. And then I pretty much caught the whole second half during the dinner. So they had the centerpiece of the wedding, and I had the phone. And then I took the empty beer cans. It was an open bar. Took the empty beer cans and kind of lined them so anybody who was not directly behind me would not know I was watching the game on my phone. Might be classified as rude. I think it's rude getting married during football season.
Agreed.
So, touche. Yeah. But I put the phone up. I was able to watch second half. First 5 offensive possessions for Ole Miss. They scored touchdowns. Georgia cannot stop them. But on the flip side, Ole Miss can't stop them either. Only difference really that had Georgia down was they were kicking a couple of field goals. But second half, Georgia's running all over them. They're passing. Gunner looks great, making great decisions, finding guys. Colby Young, their best wideout, goes down in the first quarter with a broken leg. He's out for the year. Other guys kind of step up. They look, they find the tight ends. Finally, they're like the cardiac kids. Kirby said after the game, they're hard to kill. That's correct. Yeah. Hard to kill is for sure. That's a great way to put it. But they keep getting down. Well, I wouldn't say they weren't down by huge amounts early. It was like a back and forth seesaw battle.
There was a 9-point deficit.
Yeah, I mean they were up 3-0, then down 7-3, then up 10-7, then down 14-10, then up 17-10. So it was back and forth. So they didn't get down 21 points.
They would get in the same thing they've been going on. They've gone 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, conversion.
Yep.
And it just snowball effect again.
Offensively, some of their guys had their best games. Gunner had his best game. I thought Nate Frazier had his best game. Obviously, the tight ends had great games. The wide receivers played well. I thought Branch looked good. Was getting him, getting passes to him down the field a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, the defense came in. Fourth quarter. What did Ole Miss had 16 total yards, and they were outscored 17-0 in the fourth quarter. That's a top 10 matchup. I got a stat here though about Georgia. So but they can't keep doing this. They got to play Florida, and then they got to play Texas.
This defense has to grow.
Yeah, they gotta step up, or else they're in trouble because you cannot.
Continue.
Florida and Texas, their defense are too good to be able to do this, to keep giving up a ton of points and having to come back. So
same thing with Tech. We can't get in these kind of games with them.
So here's a stat about Georgia, because I know that in the last 5 or 6 SEC games, they were kind of not Georgia-like. But in the last 5 years, it's their 10th win versus a top 5 opponent. And that's the best in all of football in that span, 5 years. 10 wins against top 5 opponents.
That's right.
And I think there's only one loss, and that was to Alabama in the SEC championship game.
That's correct. They come to play.
Yeah, I mean, good effort, but bye week they got to figure it out before Florida.
That's right. Moving right along, Alabama knocked off Tennessee 37-20. This game was going to be closer, and that pick six right at the half really killed the game.
Inside the 5, it's a pick 6 that killed them. I really thought Tennessee was doing well to battle back. I mean, Alabama's offense, in my opinion, is the most potent offense in the country. I know people are going to say about Ohio State, they're going to talk about the really good mixed attack, running and passing Miami has. I think Alabama's passing attack is better than anybody's. They've got just as many guys as Ohio State does. But the way they run that offense, I think it's more potent. Mm-hmm. It's one of those Ohio State where it's like they can get you on big chunks, and they might do 2-3 play drives. Alabama's just going to matriculate the ball down the field, take 6-7 minutes off the clock, and basically just kill your, just demoralize you. Yeah. But I thought this game could have went a lot different, just like you said. That pick six sealed the deal, and really it wasn't as close as the score dictates. They put their backups in. Tennessee scored a little bit at the end, but it was 37-20. It's not really as close as that score dictates. 17 points. Yeah.
Moving right along, Arizona State knocked off Texas Tech 26-22. Texas Tech not from the unbeaten.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of this game, but I do know that Texas Tech's backup was in, who's played a good bit. It's not like he's off the bench cold. He's played a good bit this season, but they didn't have the same effectiveness offensively that they did when the starter's in. Levitt comes back from injury, looks pretty good, but Arizona State's not as good as they were last year. But give them credit for battling back, scoring a late touchdown, take the lead, I think with like under a minute left, and then clamping down, winning the game.
That's right.
Knocking Texas Tech off from the ranks of the unbeaten, which it's so hard to go undefeated.
Yeah. But they're still alive. Everybody's still alive.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much, in my opinion, a shoe-in. As long as they stay healthy, they're a shoe-in for the Big 10. The Big 12 title game and go to the playoffs.
That's right. Oregon knocked off Rutgers 56-10.
Sorry, Rutgers, man. They're not good at all. No. But it was like a get-right game for Oregon. Make sure that things are clicking. It's one of those games to try some new things, some wrinkles, put on films. Somebody else has got to watch it and scheme for it. Rutgers is the perfect opponent to do that, and they did just that.
That's right. Vandy, 31-24. Great game. Really was.
Vandy, I mean, they're good. I think by now we all call them good. They're better than I thought. I know that they played Alabama hard, and a couple of fumbles inside the red zone kind of killed them against Bama.
That's right.
LSU's offense isn't that great. They can't run the football. They can't protect Nussmeier. Defense is really good. Yeah. And Vanderbilt was like running through like Swiss cheese all night. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I think it was. The score could have been a lot worse. Give credit to LSU. They battled, but they just don't have the offensive line.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. LSU's always had that great offensive line. They run the ball,
running backs.
Yeah, but for whatever reason,
all around solid teams. It's a rare thing where they're just not good.
Yeah,
they went to the SEC championship game a few years ago when I thought they weren't a very good football team.
But they had the Heisman Trophy.
The Heisman Trophy winner, and Georgia beat them pretty bad. It was actually the year before he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
He wasn't
as good that year.
Wasn't as good. He was also hobbled a little bit because he got hurt. Nussmeier came in through a bunch of yards and TDs on Georgia in the second half. But I mean,
there was weapons on that team.
There were, and they just weren't like a cohesive unit.
That's right. Georgia Tech knocks off Duke 26-18. They stay alive.
They did. I mean, they're playing with fire a little bit.
Yeah.
Last few games, they've been playing with fire. But, it's not easy to get up for every single game and go undefeated. So they're just finding ways to win, finding ways to shut the opponent down. And I'm giving, we're going to have a meeting here, I think, between Georgia Tech and Miami.
Yeah,
and I think Miami is probably going to win that game, but I don't think it's going to be easy for them.
No. Notre Dame knocked off USC 34-24. Notre Dame just keeps on winning.
They do. I bet the farm on USC. I took the points with the points. I thought I was going to be good. They showed me a lot against Michigan. They showed me that they can match the physicality of most of the teams that are going to play in the Big Ten. I know Notre Dame's not in the Big Ten, but I kind of look at them that way. They're kind of built like a Big Ten team. So I just kind of grouped them in there. But, they got up on them, and then Notre Dame, credit to them, Jeremiah Love just went bananas running the football. The two running backs they had, they played well. And that run game really got the passing game involved. But the backbreaker was USC goes up on them. I think like 24-17, 24-20, something like that. And then that kickoff, they run back for touchdown. Yeah. And after that, it was the USC tried to make a comeback. They did that stupid little wide receiver reverse pass, and the homeboy is like this with the football and drops it. Notre Dame gets it, touchdown, game over.
That's right. Let's see what we got.
It was raining. I was watching the game. It was raining, and everybody was in short sleeves, but for some reason it just looked cold.
It probably did get cool last night there. Oklahoma knocked off South Carolina 26-7.
Nice get-right game for Oklahoma. I still think offensively they got some things to correct. As good as Napier is, but I mentioned it when they played Michigan, he wasn't a crisp passer. He wasn't putting enough air under balls that he needed touch on. And the same thing against Texas, threw a couple picks. Same thing yesterday against South Carolina. He's good. He's going to get him there, but I think to be elite, he needs to take that next step as a quarterback, and maybe it'll happen next year.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they rushed him back a little too quick. I don't know.
I kind of think they did too.
Yeah, he could still play, and he played okay last week and this week, but he just wasn't. And it doesn't seem like he's quite there yet. BYU knocked off Utah 24-21.
I didn't watch this game because I was watching the next game we're going to talk about, which is a freaking snooze fest. But for some reason, I was just watching it. But I was surprised. I thought Utah would be able to handle business. Yeah. I know both the teams are good. Both teams are physical football teams. Buckman, whatever, from BYU, the true freshman quarterback. We talked about him last week. That kid, he's like Tim Tebow. I mean, that's who he looks like playing football, is Tim Tebow. They got their own Tim Tebow at BYU, and they're looking pretty good.
Well, good for them. Missouri knocked off Auburn 23-17.
In a snoozer. I don't know why I watched this game. I think I was watching it because I was like, I bet on Auburn to win. And they didn't cover. But I was like, man, if they lose, they're going to fire Hugh Freeze. So I was watching it. And they looked like the better team. I mean, second half, they go up there, score a touchdown, take the lead. And I'm like, all right, they're moving the football at will. And then inexplicably, late in the game, they let Missouri do a huge drive, not capped off by the touchdown, but highlighted by a long pass play. And I'm like, they're gonna let Missouri back in this game, and then the back and forth overtime. And I was like, good Lord Almighty! I was like, how does Auburn lose? Auburn just finds new ways to lose games. I kind of feel bad for him a little bit. Hugh Freeze is not fired yet.
Rumor has it maybe tomorrow.
Rumor has it that the boosters and some people are in discussions. We don't know how far that's going to go. Rumor has it same thing with Florida State today. And Napier, Florida got fired today. So we'll kind of see how that goes. I don't know. I was kind of told earlier in the week that they were going to maybe give him a pass this year because they feel that they've been screwed out of 2 games. But he's 0-4 in the SEC.
Yeah. So Virginia is quietly undefeated. I think they're undefeated in the ACC still. Knocked off Washington State 22-20.
Didn't see any of this game, but I like Virginia.
They're just winning.
The QB that they had a couple of years ago, Calandria, he's now at UNLV, and he threw a pick 6 yesterday. He's not looking well. The UNLV's not bad, but good for them.
Yeah. We got South Florida knocked off Florida Atlantic 48-13.
Brown's another one of those guys I would put in the conversation for Heisman. At this moment of the season, they're a solid football team. They got 1 loss as to Miami. Don't think anybody expected them really to win that game. And they're just doing what they need to do. And it's looking right now to me like they're the team to beat for that, that group of 5 playoff spot. That's right. And I wouldn't want to play them.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Texas knocked off Kentucky 16-13.
The second snooze fest on the night game, they looked awful. Texas looked bad. It was like 176 yards of total offense. Just look at the leaders. You had Boley led the whole game in passing at 258 and rushing at 45. Like he led the game with 45 yards rushing.
Terrible.
They go down and kick the game-tying field goals overtime. I thought controversial call inside the 5. They get stoned on 2nd and 3rd down, and they go for it. And I'm like, you should have kind of known, if you're going to try to keep running it up the middle 3 plays in a row, you got stoned on 2nd and 3rd down. Kick the field goal or run a play that doesn't go right up the gut into the teeth of that defense of Texas. But they went for it, got stuffed. I'm like, all right, Texas only needs a field goal to win. They got the field goal to win. Really kind of felt this game, Kentucky had this game to win a couple of times, and they let it slip away from them. But, give Texas credit. They go on a conference road game and win. Last year, Georgia won the SEC championship game and probably should have lost to Kentucky in Lexington last year. So, before anyone says, "Oh, Kentucky sucks," it is not easy going to Lexington playing football at night.
For whatever reason, it's just a hard place.
Yeah, and they might not be a good football team at all, but for whatever reason, it's not easy to win there.
We've been there. We went to a good game.
Yeah, there. And then we almost lost that game.
Yeah, almost froze to death and lost that game. Moving right along, Memphis knocked off UAB knocked off Memphis 31-24.
UAB was ready to win this. Memphis. I think was it? I don't remember how it went. So well, shit. Now I'm confused. What was the game yesterday where they intercepted and then went 3 and out? Was this game?
I don't
know. I didn't watch this game.
I don't either.
I just sound like an asshole.
Well, did Trent Dilfer got canned this week?
He did. He got canned, and it was
UAB.
It was Chris Mortensen's son.
Yeah.
Alex Mortensen won,
and they led them to the win.
This is the game like it was like. Yeah, UAB intercepted, and it was like a minute left, but they went 3 and out and had to punt, and they gave Memphis another opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And Memphis just killed their shot probably of getting a playoff berth. Cincinnati knocked off Oklahoma State 49-17.
Didn't see any of that game.
Any other game we need to talk about?
I noticed that Clemson lost another one to SMU. So the Clemson is now 3-4 on the season. Mm-hmm. Penn State lost one. Florida State lost a night game to Stanford. One of my most hated teams. Probably my most hated team. Knocks off Florida State 20-13. Castellanos got drilled in the head trying to slide at the end of the game. God, maybe if he doesn't get hit, maybe they find a way to win that game. I don't know. Looks like Norvell's time in Tallahassee is coming to an end. Mm-hmm. I would have never thought this is how that season would play out for them. I mean, they're losing to teams that they have no business losing to.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I think he's a good coach, but I just don't think he can recruit to save his life.
He can't. They're relying way too much on the portal. And that was one of the things I heard on Twitter today is the boosters are having trouble being motivated to fit another transfer-laden team like NIL build. You know, get somebody that can recruit. They're in Florida. They recruit the state of Florida. They can recruit Georgia. They can recruit Alabama, Mississippi, LSU.
There's too much talent available.
Exactly. There's a lot of talent out there. And they can get, we've talked about it before. You don't use the transfer portal to build your team. You supplement what you need and add and get key additions via the portal.
That's right. Well, let's move on to next week's games. Boise State taking on Nevada Friday night. Virginia Tech and Cal Friday night.
I'll probably watch Virginia Tech and Cal and maybe a little bit of Boise, Nevada. I love watching Boise, Nevada play late at night on Friday. This season, having to get up real early on Friday night, Friday morning, Saturday morning, and Sunday mornings, I'm having trouble just staying up. But I love watching those night games when Nevada plays, UNLV, that whole area of the country, like the old Mountain
West.
They
play fun games at night.
They do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what's happening Saturday. They got Wisconsin, Oregon. We don't have a time yet. It's to be determined. Illinois is taking on Washington.
Illinois coming off a bye week. Washington should be ranked. Mm-hmm. That could be a good game. That could be a sneaky good game. Both teams need that game.
Yeah, you can get a ticket for $16 at Husky Stadium right now.
Both teams need that game. Minnesota at Iowa. Iowa knocked off Penn State last week, so good for them. Yeah. Northwestern, Nebraska. Nebraska looking to get right again.
UCLA, Indiana.
Yep, going Indiana. Syracuse at Georgia Tech. Now, Syracuse isn't good for a football team this year, but they knocked off Clemson. Quarterback went down. I think he was out for the year. Mm-hmm. Do they have some more magic in them against undefeated number 7 Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech? I don't remember the name of their stadium, but it's Bobby Dodd. It's not a difficult place to play.
No.
We've been there. Mm-hmm. I've been there a couple times. It's not that difficult of a place to play. Syracuse could make some noise in this game.
Early game. You never know how these things are. Ole Miss trying to get right against Oklahoma at noon.
Don't let Georgia beat you twice. I think Ole Miss has the offensive ability to put some pressure on that Oklahoma defense. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma's offense is not nearly as good as Georgia's offense. I think if Ole Miss can make some stops, they have a chance to win this game.
Absolutely.
And basically, this game, they're either going to have an excellent season because of this game, or it's going to start to unravel pretty good.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I think Lane Kiffin's much too good of a coach. He was a little bit of a laughingstock early on, going for 4th downs, all the trickery, all stuff that kind of went with him, the off-the-field stuff. He's become a very good coach.
He's matured. He's a good recruiter, good game manager. It's good stuff. Virginia taking on North Carolina at noon. Let's see what else.
Memphis, South Florida. Memphis has to win this game to kind of get back into things.
SMU Wake Forest.
That'd be a huge. What time is that Memphis? That's a noon kickoff. Oh.
It's a nooner.
Well, my daughter's birthday is this week, and she's having a big sleepover Friday night. So I might stay up late watching that Boise State Nevada game because they won't let me go to sleep. But I think the girls are gonna do like what do you call it? To get their nails done during the day or something. We get to watch this game. Yeah. It's a noon kick.
I got SMU Wake Forest to be a noon kick as well. Kansas State, Kansas. Oh, it's an interesting matchup. Auburn
at Arkansas. I don't see Auburn winning this game. I think Arkansas's offense is much too potent, much too powerful. Hugh Freeze entertained the idea of changing quarterbacks. My big thing with Hugh Freeze, I was talking about this this morning. Hugh Freeze, good coach, right? Can play Georgia real tough, can play Alabama real tough. Your two biggest rivals at Auburn. The guy's a good coach and he can recruit. Auburn's got a huge... Auburn has a huge war chest of NIL. They've got the big game at Mercedes-Benz Dome, which, by the way, some of their fans are upset that they're going to the game at Mercedes-Benz Dome and not the Plains. I get it. It's not a home game. Right. You got to look at the bigger picture. You know how much money you're getting because of that game? And it's going to go to NIL, so stop your bitching and just go to the Benz.
That's right.
But, a huge war chest for Auburn. They should be able to get some more guys. But yet they keep going into the portal for quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks that are getting in the portal aren't worth a shit. Hugh Freeze needs to recruit a guy.
Well, are they not worth the shit, or is he not coaching them?
I don't think they're worth the shit. I mean, you saw what this kid did last year. He couldn't throw the football. They had Peyton Thorne, and then the other kid from last. They've had multiple transfer portal quarterbacks going through the system. They have Bo Nix. They run him out of town, and look what he does. He just goes to Oregon and has 2 huge seasons. He's like first, second round pick. Now he's playing for the Denver Broncos.
Taking them to the playoffs.
He was playing as a rookie for Denver. So, I mean, Bo Nix wasn't the problem. Yeah. They've got to get a quarterback and maybe have a transfer guy play a year and get this kid. But they've got to get a guy, and they've got to coach him up, and they've got to get multiple years out of the same QB.
That's right.
That's the only way I think they can right this ship. I don't think they're going to have a great season. Just keep getting a new QB year after year.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I just think a lot of these programs are getting in trouble by not, having a guy in the system and just building it. Yep. Taking them off the street and sticking them in there just doesn't work for everybody. Interesting game. Bama's going to South Carolina. It'll be a 3:30 start.
Doesn't matter. South Carolina has 0 chance in this game. This is going to be a really, really, really bad season for South Carolina. I don't know what their record is. I don't think they've won a conference game yet. No. They might not. Yeah. They're not good. They've got some talent. The quarterback's good, but they didn't go in the portal for any wideouts, so the wideouts suck. I'm not really impressed with their running backs. The defense isn't as good as I thought it would be. They lost a lot of guys too. Yeah. Quarterback's good, but he can't do everything.
That's right.
They had Rocket Sanders. They had running game. They had guys to throw the football to. They're just not the same team.
That's right.
Shane Beamer's not getting fired. But that seat might start to get a little warm after
maybe
the season.
Maybe he's getting ready to jump to Virginia Tech.
Well, it's possible, yeah.
We'll see.
I wouldn't blame the guy. No. I mean, it's not easy to win at some of these schools in the SEC, and because it's the SEC, everyone expects to compete for championships.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to run a gauntlet there.
You can go to Virginia Tech, win 8-9 games a year, and you're going to be a freaking hero.
And he can coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Yeah, he's a good coach. He can recruit too, but last couple cycles, he's been losing some recruits to some of the bigger players in the SEC. It's no fault of him.
Yeah, it is part of the game. Missouri is going to Nashville to take on Vandy. Number 10.
Vandy's going to win this game. Missouri's lost to Alabama. They close one to Auburn. I think Missouri's second loss of the season's coming next week.
Yeah. I think the wheels.
I think Vandy's going in. I think Vandy's going 11-1. I really do. Like
it's crazy.
It's just ridiculous. Like I'm like, okay, Tennessee's good, but I'm like, I don't see Tennessee stopping them.
No.
I really don't.
Pavia's something else.
Pavia is probably going to go to New York as one of the Heisman guys as well. Yeah. And when no one's talking about Lee, I think it's Lee, Coach Vanderbilt, being like a coaching candidate for one of the teams.
I was watching that game. I was like, man, somebody might offer him some.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone's talking. the rumor this morning was James Franklin of Florida, but I mean I know they're going to try to offer Freeman at Notre Dame. They're going to offer Dan Lanning. Make him say no, but I mean. Lane might not be a bad fit. You got one more year with DJ Lagway. Yep. What do you do with Pavia? You can do with Lagway.
BYU's got Iowa State at 3:30.
Iowa State needs a win bad to salvage their season.
Yeah. I mean, you got
Texas Tech,
Oklahoma State.
Home against Oklahoma State. It should be easy win.
Baylor, Cincinnati. Texas
at Mississippi State. Mississippi State almost beat Florida. Yeah. Probably should have if it wasn't just throwing an interception to a defensive lineman.
I could see this whole season for Texas just unraveling from here on out.
Yep. But, I mean, Mississippi State's not going to be an easy out.
No, it's not. I can see Mississippi State beating Texas.
And I've been to that stadium. The amount of cowbell, it is... I have nothing against cowbell. I never thought I did, but there's so much cowbell. You're like, God almighty, stop that shit.
Can Miami get right against Stanford?
Yeah. Stanford sucks.
Yeah.
And I'll be rooting for Miami in that game because I hate Stanford.
Texas A&M against LSU.
That's
an interesting game.
LSU loses, it's over.
Yeah, their backs
against the wall. A&M's undefeated. It's not easy to be undefeated.
No.
I don't want to pick this game, but it would not shock me if LSU wins this game.
Yeah.
I think Brian Kelly's not a good football coach. Or I should say, he's not a good fit in the SEC.
Right. I think he's a good football coach. I don't know what he's doing in the SEC. Mm-hmm. Michigan State, Tennessee, Kentucky.
At Kentucky, that could be a tough game. A night game.
Yeah.
Houston at Arizona State will be a good game.
Colorado, Utah will be probably a good game.
Man, that Tennessee at Kentucky, Kentucky's playing for their lives as well. Yeah. They play Texas, Georgia, now Tennessee, and I think they get somebody else coming home later in the season.
Yeah.
Is it Alabama? Maybe I don't know, but they're going to knock somebody off. Yeah. I have a feeling they're going to knock somebody off, and I think it's going to be Tennessee. It could be Tennessee's third loss of the season. They lose a fourth game to Vanderbilt. And I still think this is a quality season, though, for Tennessee, if that is the worst-case scenario. Because I don't think anybody thought they'd play as well as they did without Nico.
Yeah.
They hit goal with that Aguilar kid.
Yeah, he's been good.
And he's like a fifth-year senior, so he's gone after this year.
I mean, they've run a gauntlet. I mean, everybody in the SEC has run a gauntlet. I mean, if you go 8-4 this year, you can't say you had a bad season. I mean, there's a lot of good football teams. There's going to be teams
missing the playoffs because they've got 3 losses that are going to be a lot better than some of the 1- and 2-loss teams in other conferences getting in.
Yeah, I keep hearing different things. SEC might get 4 or 5 teams, this, that, and the other thing, but you just don't know. There's a lot of football left to be played. Mm-hmm. I think it's all going to sort itself out. Well, you guys have a good week, and we'll see you again next weekend.
See ya.